Woo! That was super-sized episode, but it was really good stuff.
Yeah, sorry, I tend to rant. You have to stop me. I'm sorry
I couldn't
about
stop
that.
you. It was too good. I was learning stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to distill down, but I've had to do it a few times now, tell people, and it really is just, I should have said this, but I know people are still listening. The basics of photography that they teach you in photography classes, you can use those and basically apply them to, have the right gear, and that means cleaning your lens most of the time. You already have the phone. You're not going to buy another one unless you're shopping. Then the other stuff I said. And the exposure focus stuff, it gets a little hairy, but generally the composition is half the battle. Phones today are really good at adjusting focus and exposure properly, especially those phones we recommended. So if you just frame that shot immediately, it just gets more creative, And whether you choose a square format like Instagram, which I know now you can use more than square, but I like to keep square going. When I do Instagram, I work with the medium, and it's fun,
Cool. What should we call this? Episode? We've got showbot.tv.
You should note vertical video.
Oh, band vertical video, yeah.
Or landscape mode, baby.
That's actually really good.
I used to have to write headlines for
Yeah, I can tell.
Fly, so it's like you end up kind of.
We have we get lazy here, and we have a thing at showbot.tv where people could submit headline ideas throughout the show in the chat room. Ban vertical video though, landscape mode, baby.
Yep.
I'm going to submit that one. Landscape mode.
So they vote. You all submit your own. That's great.
And then I'm going to vote it. So,
What
do you think, Patrick?
I don't know. I like all the ones that mention Finland and Patrick broke the internet or speedtest.net, but that's really not relevant to the main topic.
That is pretty awesome if you broke it, though. When I did the 1 gigabit test, for the brief second they left it on, because I had actually requested the 100 megabit, and when the tech came, I said, "Can you just show me what 1 megabit looks like?" And we got 975 down and 890 up, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And he said, "Yeah," and it was their own speed test, they have their own setup.
Right.
And I didn't get a chance to try with with Ookla or whatever. But when they scaled me down to 100, I'm getting about 97 down and about 75, 80 up now. The Ookla, you can see it pegs and then it kind of rescales itself. That's what I noticed.
Yeah.
So I think it's able to rescale up to probably a gigabit, but you're probably destroying that where you are.
No, just landscape mode, baby. I voted for it as well. It's destroying the other titles. So.
Oh yeah, it's just blazing to the top.
But yeah, no, actually, mine the upload tops at about 500. But if you saw 900 or something, it depends. I don't know if it's the servers or I don't know. I'm sure some people will write in saying, "Patrick, we hate you," which I understand, but already gotten a couple of those on Twitter now.
It's funny you mentioned that because here in the U.S. it's so I live in San Francisco, right in the city, and you'd think in the tech mecca that I am at, I could get fiber or something from someone. No, I cannot get anything good. I can get shitty Comcast, right? Which there's no way I would ever give my money to. And then best they can get me is DOCSIS 3, 100 megabits, max down, and maybe 20 megabits up. Which, look, is great, but I don't want to give them my money. And then that's the only choice I have that is really high speed. Then there is a company that I'm with actually right now called Astound, which is now owned by Wave Broadband, but it used to be an independent ISP that was awesome, and every time they get bought, it gets worse. And their cable DOCSIS 3, and I get about 20, 30 megabits down and maybe 5 megabits up with them, which isn't fine, but not great. And then there is a microwave solution you can get. I don't own the building, but if I can get permission from my landlord to put a little microwave antenna on the roof, I could get much better performance. But my landlord will never let me do that. He is an old, cranky guy who barely wants to ever come to my house. So permission for that's not going to happen. And so then DSL. And DSL, as we know, is abysmal. And so what else do I have left? It's insane. And then in Portland, Oregon, I'm out in the city still, but in more residential part. And it's pretty much, I have two choices. I have Comcast again, and I have this fiber thing. And Comcast is not fiber there, it's coax. And when I found out, I inquired about ADSL, and the guy goes, oh, we replaced all the copper in the neighborhood with fiber. That's why we're offering you fiber. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do that. And so I did, and it was amazing.
That is fantastic. And Jenny knows this very well because in her office, she can feel the fiber going underneath her over to the CBS studios.
Blazing.
But you can't get to it.
Underneath my office. But
then,
yeah,
nobody will sell it to her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or they will. I'm sorry. For $1,000
Oh, right. No, I guess you're right.
a month.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes me angry.
So you want to hear the irony? I pay. So my 100 in Portland is $49 a month right now, which is pretty damn great.
That's amazing.
How much? What?
$49.
49 for 100 fiber. If I wanted 1 gigabit, it would be like $129 a month or something. And I think this is a limited offer. It's probably for the first year, and then it goes up to like $79 a month or something for what I'm paying now, and probably like $200 a month for the gigabit. But the NSF here, I'm paying $79 for 20 down, of 25 down, 5 up. It's freaking bad. You know, it's like I'm better off almost getting LTE. If there weren't any data caps on LTE, I'd get LTE because I can get like 50 down on T-Mobile right now in my house if I want. Through
in Finland they have data capped plans and no data cap plans, and the no data cap are like $5 more expensive, and those are new. And apparently a lot of people are angry about it because they were so used to the no data caps that when they added the data caps and bumped the price of the no data cap ones, people got angry.
Did nobody like the price increase?
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic actually. Without diving into U.S. Crappy internet service hate, which I have a lot of. A huge amount of, but it's a really interesting discussion. That's what we were sort of mentioning by email with Tom. It's I got here and I got this huge connection, and I was like, at which point is it overkill? Like, I'm never gonna use a gig down. Like, it's an actual gig down and 500 up.
Until you start streaming those 4K videos.
Oh, 4K means what? 30 megs?
5 at a time.
Right.
Well, that's
no.
That's why
it's 30 megs. I could do what? 30 of them at a time.
See, that's why I picked the 100 megabyte package, because I'm like, at this point I can afford to pay for the 1 gigabit, but it's bragging rights. That's all I'm paying for. I'm not paying for any improvement in my performance. It's so fast already.
I pay for 300 because I want no possibility that anything is going to be a problem on my end, right? Like, right. And I have lots of things updating throughout the day, automatically putting software patches on the Xbox or the PlayStation, this and that. So I don't want that to ever get in the way of anything else. So it's a ridiculous amount of overhead, but I don't. I could get 500 from Fios, but I haven't run into a point yet where I need it.
But Tom, it's your business. Like, if I was podcasting professionally on a daily basis for my living, like you, I would absolutely do that. Like, there's no doubt about it.
And for me as well, that's the reason. It's absolutely because it's my business. It's not because I wanted the gig.
It's not because Patrick just wanted to lord it over all the rest of us.
No, well, Patrick, actually, the real reason is that
come on.
No. The real reason is that it's 40 euros, I think, something like that.
Oh my gosh,
so it's not, I can't. I'm not gonna save $5 a month for 100 meg, 900 megs less. So, but it's really, it is mind-boggling to think that you can get a gig down and actually get a gig down.
I just had this thing that popped up in my head of, like, imagine if you were like a pack rat and now you become a digital pack rat. And you have a 1 gigabit connection and you start buying hard drives.
A digital
you start downloading websites.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab all of Wikipedia today. Oof. I'm going to grab all of Google. Oh, that's going to take a few years.
That's what happened to Brewster Kahle. They became the Internet Archive.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm thinking who usually buys these kinds of, like, if you run a company, like a huge company, not a huge, but you know, if you have a few hundred people, probably you could get by on a gigabyte connection, probably, because not everyone is going to be.
I can think of a couple of use case scenarios, especially if you do distributed computing, where you need to do remote access. I mean, we used to have editors remote access into the edit machines at work, and they would just edit from home. And they would able to sync audio. And I mean, you wouldn't want to finish the project that way, but you could definitely roll and do a lot of work without having to physically be in the office.
Actually, that sort of bumps into our a potential future discussion.
Yeah.
Where these are the kinds of uses where we're not really thinking about them now, but maybe if we had all that speed available, we would just find other uses, and then it would
fill up that bandwidth.
Yeah.
We'll fill it up. There's no doubt. VR and stuff. When we start streaming, 360-degree HD, resolution VR, it'll happen. But I mean, we're not ready. Look, like half of I'm at the bleeding edge right now in Portland with 100, and here in SF, I'm kind of barely skating across here. It's just we're not ready in the US, at least. You're lucky to have FiOS where you are, Tom.
No, it was one of the things that made this where we decided to live, is that it was a FiOS area that was also near Eileen's workplace. Like that was the Venn diagram we were looking at.
For sure, yeah. Well,
she can't take a job anywhere that doesn't have FiOS service.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say if you ran VPN at home and you were like super paranoid, you could. I mean, I used to do that with the Office VPN. Office. I would VPN into work if I was abroad and access my email and stuff that way, going through there just in case, because I was super paranoid, doing banking or anything like that.
Yeah, she's paranoid too.
She's approving.
Yeah. All right, well, that is it. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks again, everybody, for watching and listening, and thank you again, Miriam.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Anytime. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go, guys.